Have you ever felt that burning sensation in your chest when someone disrespects you? That mixture of anger, shame, and the overwhelming urge to either lash out or retreat. In today's world, disrespect seems to be everywhere, from rude comments online to dismissive co-workers, from family members who belittle your choices to strangers who cut you off in traffic with a honk and a gesture. How do you handle these moments without losing your dignity or your peace of mind? If you've been struggling with this question, you're in the right place. Today we're exploring 10 powerful Stoic lessons that can transform how you handle disrespect in this modern world. These aren't quick fixes or manipulation tactics. They're timeless philosophical principles that have guided great minds for over 2,000 years. Before we dive in, if you value wisdom that stands the test of time, consider subscribing to this channel and hitting that notification bell. Drop a like on this video if you've ever felt disrespected and wanted a better way to respond. And I'm curious, what's your typical reaction when someone disrespects you? Do you fight back, withdraw, or something else? Share your honest response in the comments below. Let's begin our journey toward a more resilient, dignified way of handling disrespect, the Stoic way. 1. Focus on what you can control. What if I told you that trying to control how others treat you is like trying to command the weather? It simply can't be done, and the attempt will only leave you frustrated and exhausted. The ancient Stoics recognized a fundamental truth that many of us struggle with today. The only thing truly under our control is our own response. When someone disrespects you, remember that their behavior flows from their choices, judgments, and perhaps their own inner turmoil, none of which you can directly control. What you can control with practice and intention is how you interpret their actions and how you choose to respond. Think about the last time someone disrespected you. Perhaps a colleague took credit for your work, or a friend made a cutting remark about your appearance. In that moment, did you focus your energy on trying to change their behavior or on mastering your own reaction? The Stoic Emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote in his private journals, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This isn't passive resignation. It's a strategic reallocation of your mental and emotional resources toward the one arena where you have genuine power. I challenge you, the next time you face disrespect, pause and silently ask yourself, what aspect of this situation is actually within my control? Share in the comments one recent situation where shifting your focus to your own reaction might have changed the outcome. 2. Understand the nature of insults. Have you noticed how the people who are quickest to disrespect others often seem to be fighting their own battles? There's profound wisdom in the Stoic understanding that insults and disrespect frequently tell us more about the person dishing them out than the person receiving them. Consider this. Happy, secure, and virtuous people rarely feel the need to tear others down. When someone lashes out with disrespect, they're often projecting their insecurities, compensating for their inadequacies, or acting from a place of pain or ignorance. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher who began life as a slave, taught that when someone insults you, you should consider whether what they're saying is true. If it is, there's no reason to be upset. They've simply pointed out something you can improve. If it's not true, then why be bothered by a falsehood? The person has merely revealed their own poor judgment. Think about a recent insult that stung you. What might it reveal about the person who said it? Are they struggling with something you're unaware of? Are they simply repeating behavior they've learned elsewhere? This perspective doesn't excuse disrespect, but it does disarm it. When you recognize that someone's rudeness likely stems from their own struggles, it becomes easier to respond with equanimity rather than escalation. I'm curious, can you think of a time when someone's disrespect clearly revealed something about their character rather than yours? Share your insights in the comments below. Your experience might help someone else reframe their own painful interaction. 3. Practice indifference to externals. In a world obsessed with likes, followers, and public approval, this might be the most countercultural Stoic teaching. The opinions others hold of you are external to you, and therefore should not dictate your happiness or self-worth. The Stoics classified everything in the world into two categories: things within our control and things outside our control. The opinions others hold about us, whether expressed respectfully or disrespectfully, fall squarely into the second category. They are externals or indifferents, things that might be preferred or not preferred, but should never be mistaken for essential ingredients of your happiness or worth. Seneca, a wealthy Stoic philosopher and advisor to emperors, wrote letters discussing how public opinion is fickle and unreliable. He advised his student Lucilius that the approval of the masses is proof of how bad something is. A stark reminder that seeking universal approval is not only impossible, but often undesirable. This doesn't mean becoming completely dismissive of all feedback. Rather, it means developing the discernment to evaluate opinions based on the virtue and wisdom of those expressing them, not on their volume or vehemence. When someone disrespects you, ask yourself, is this person's opinion essential to my well-being? Does their judgment reflect the values I aspire to live by? If not, perhaps their opinion deserves your indifference rather than your distress. What do you think would change in your life if you became genuinely indifferent to the opinions of people who don't share your values? Would you speak differently? Make different choices? Let me know in the comments. I read every single one. 4. Cultivate inner virtue. What would happen if you built your sense of self-worth on a foundation that no one could shake? This is what the Stoics proposed when they placed virtue at the center of a well-lived life. For the Stoics, true worth comes from the cultivation of virtue, wisdom in our judgments, justice in our dealings with others, courage in the face of challenges, and temperance in our desires. And these qualities exist entirely within your power to develop, regardless of external circumstances or others' opinions. When your self-worth is grounded in your commitment to virtue, disrespect loses its power to wound you. You know that your value isn't determined by someone else's hasty judgment, but by the integrity of your character and your ongoing efforts to live according to your highest values. Marcus Aurelius, who faced plenty of disrespect despite being the most powerful man in the world, reminded himself, "Does what happened keep you from acting with justice, generosity, self-control, sanity, prudence, honesty, humility, straightforwardness? Then be satisfied with having acted well in this regard." This internal measure of worth provides stability in a world where external validation is unstable and often arbitrary. It doesn't mean you won't feel the initial sting of disrespect. We're human after all. But it does mean you can quickly return to a stable center, knowing that no external judgment can diminish the virtue you're cultivating within. I'm interested to hear, What virtues do you most strive to cultivate in your life? How has focusing on these internal qualities helped you handle criticism or disrespect? Share your experience in the comments. Your insight might be exactly what another viewer needs to hear today. 5. Respond with reason, not emotion. We've all been there. Someone says something disrespectful, and before we know it, we're caught in an emotional reaction that we later regret. The Stoics understood this human tendency and offered a powerful alternative, responding from reason rather than impulse. When disrespect triggers anger, hurt, or defensiveness, the Stoics advise us to pause. In that pause lies our freedom. Epictetus taught that between a stimulus and our response, we have the power to insert a moment of consideration. Make use of the ruling faculty, he urged his students, referring to our uniquely human capacity for rational thought. This doesn't mean suppressing emotions or becoming coldly analytical. Rather, it means acknowledging the emotional impact while choosing a response guided by reason and virtue. Emotions provide valuable information, but they make poor decision makers. Consider implementing the Stoic pause in your own life. When disrespected, take a breath. Ask yourself, what would the wisest version of me do in this situation? What response would align with my values and serve my true interests? This pause might last only seconds, but it can prevent regrets that last much longer. Modern neuroscience confirms what the Stoics intuited. Strong emotions temporarily hijack our higher cognitive functions. That momentary pause gives your prefrontal cortex, the seat of rational thought, time to come back online and guide your response. Have you ever regretted a reactive response to disrespect? What might have changed if you'd taken that crucial pause? Or if you've successfully practiced this skill, what difference has it made? Share your experience in the comments. Your story could help someone else master this vital Stoic technique. 6. Practice empathy and understanding. Here's a challenging Stoic idea. When someone disrespects you, try to understand them before you judge them. This doesn't mean excusing bad behavior, but rather recognizing the humanity behind it. The Stoics believed in the interconnectedness of all human beings. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. They are like this because they cannot tell good from evil." His point wasn't to condemn others, but to recognize that harmful behavior stems from mistaken judgments. People who understand what truly matters in life, virtue, reason, human connection, rarely engage in disrespect. Those who do are suffering from their own confused thinking. When faced with disrespect, try this Stoic exercise. Imagine what circumstances might have led this person to behave this way. Perhaps they're under extreme stress you know nothing about. Maybe they were raised in an environment where respect was never modeled. Or possibly they're acting from fear or insecurity that has nothing to do with you. This perspective shift accomplishes something remarkable. It transforms a potentially antagonistic interaction into an opportunity for understanding. It doesn't require you to tolerate abuse, but it does allow you to respond from a place of wisdom rather than wounded pride. I'm curious, can you recall a time when understanding someone's background or circumstances helped you respond more effectively to their disrespect? Or a time when learning about someone's struggles changed how you viewed their behavior? Share your insights in the comments below. 7. Choose your battles wisely. In today's world, potential conflicts lurk everywhere, from social media disagreements to workplace tensions, from family dynamics to encounters with strangers. The Stoics would advise us to be strategic about which disrespects truly deserve our energy and attention. Epictetus taught his students to distinguish between matters of genuine importance and trivial concerns. Make it your study to respond to every harsh impression with gentleness and tranquility, he advised, telling yourself, it is nothing more than an impression and not at all what it appears to be. This doesn't mean becoming a doormat who accepts all disrespect passively. Rather, it means developing the wisdom to recognize which situations merit your engagement and which are better left alone. Ask yourself, is this worth my mental energy? Will engaging enhance or diminish my tranquility? Will a response contribute to virtue, mine or others? Consider the context of the disrespect. A throwaway comment from a stranger might not warrant the same response as ongoing disrespect from a close colleague. A momentary lapse from someone having a terrible day might call for different handling than a pattern of deliberate disrespect. Sometimes the most stoic response is simply to let it go, not out of weakness, but out of a strategic allocation of your limited mental and emotional resources toward what truly matters in your life. Think about your recent experiences. Have there been times when you engaged with disrespect and later wished you hadn't? Or times when you chose not to respond and felt better for it? Share your wisdom in the comments. Your experience might help someone else discern which battles are worth fighting. 8. Remember impermanence. The Stoics were masters at maintaining perspective, particularly through their meditation on the temporary nature of all things. When faced with disrespect, they would remind themselves, "This too shall pass." Marcus Aurelius wrote in his journal, "Keep in mind how fast things pass by and are gone, those that are now and those to come. Existence flows past us like a river. The what is in constant flux. The why has 1,000 variations. Nothing is stable, not even what's right here." When someone disrespects you, it can feel all-consuming in the moment. Your pulse quickens, your thoughts narrow, and the interaction seems to fill your entire awareness. This is precisely when the Stoic reminder of impermanence is most valuable. The sting of that disrespectful comment? It will fade. The embarrassment you feel? Temporary. The anger rising within you, a passing weather pattern in your inner landscape. Even the most painful disrespect diminishes with time. This perspective doesn't trivialize your experience, but it does place it within the broader context of your life. When you remember that this moment is just one of countless moments in your day, your week, your lifetime, it loses some of its power to disturb your peace. Try this Stoic practice. When disrespected, silently remind yourself, this moment is already passing. By next week, or next month, or next year, this will likely be forgotten. This simple reminder can help you avoid being mentally trapped in a fleeting negative interaction. I wonder, can you recall a disrespectful interaction from your past that seemed enormous at the time, but now seems much smaller? How long did it take for that perspective to emerge? Share your reflections in the comments. Time's healing power is something we can all learn from. 9. Focus on your purpose and values. The Stoics believed that a well-lived life requires clarity about your purpose and steadfast adherence to your values. When you know what matters most to you, disrespect becomes less disruptive to your path. Seneca wrote, "Let all your efforts be directed to something. Let it keep that end in view." It's not activity that disturbs people, but false conceptions of things that drive them mad. In other words, when you're clear about your purpose, external disturbances, including disrespect, have less power to knock you off course. Consider how often disrespect succeeds in derailing us from what matters. A cutting remark can distract us for hours. A public slight can consume our thoughts for days. Meanwhile, our most important work, relationships, and growth opportunities sit neglected while we ruminate on the disrespect. The Stoic alternative is to maintain focus on your chosen path despite external negativity. When disrespected, remind yourself of what truly matters in your life. Are you working toward meaningful goals, cultivating important relationships, developing skills that bring value to yourself and others? These pursuits deserve your mental energy far more than someone's momentary disrespect. This doesn't mean ignoring genuine problems that need addressing. Rather, it means handling them efficiently without allowing them to hijack your focus or dominate your thoughts beyond what's useful. I'm curious to hear from you. What purpose or values help you stay grounded when facing disrespect? Have you ever noticed how focusing on what truly matters helps you move past negative interactions more quickly? Share your insights in the comments below. Your purpose-driven approach might inspire others. 10. Practice self-compassion and forgiveness. Our final Stoic lesson might surprise those who mistakenly view Stoicism as cold or unfeeling. In truth, the Stoics understood the importance of compassion, both for others and for ourselves, in maintaining inner tranquility. Handling disrespect with Stoic wisdom doesn't mean you won't feel its impact. It's natural to feel hurt, angry, or defensive when disrespected. The Stoic approach isn't to deny these feelings, but to acknowledge them without harsh self-judgment. As Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, be tolerant with others and strict with yourself, though modern Stoics might add that self-compassion is equally important. When you've been disrespected, practice being kind to yourself about your reactions. If you responded imperfectly, perhaps with anger or withdrawal, recognize this as a natural human response rather than a failure. Use it as information for future growth rather than ammunition for self-criticism. Similarly, practice forgiveness toward those who have disrespected you. This doesn't mean you must continue to subject yourself to their behavior or that you shouldn't establish appropriate boundaries. Rather, it means releasing the burden of resentment for your own sake. Epictetus, who knew extreme hardship as a former slave, taught that forgiveness springs from understanding. Remember that the person who irritates you or causes you pain is acting from their beliefs about what is good or right. They are not trying to hurt you personally. Forgiveness doesn't condone disrespect, but it does free you from carrying the weight of it. As we conclude, I'd love to know, how do you practice self-compassion after difficult interactions? Have you experienced the freedom that comes with forgiving someone who disrespected you? Share your journey in the comments. Your experience with forgiveness might be exactly what another viewer needs to hear. These 10 Stoic lessons offer a pathway to handling disrespect with dignity, wisdom, and inner peace. They don't promise to make disrespect disappear from your life. No philosophy can do that. What they offer instead is something far more valuable: the ability to face disrespect without being diminished by it. The next time you encounter disrespect, remember that you have choices beyond reactivity or passivity. You have the Stoic path, the middle way of reasoned, virtuous response that preserves your dignity while refusing to escalate negativity. If you found value in these timeless teachings, support this channel by subscribing, liking this video, and sharing it with someone who might benefit from these Stoic insights. Until next time, remember the words of Epictetus. Make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens.